This is a documentary on the downfall of Star Stable. It is best enjoyed as a background video, but if you're not using it for that, there will be some visuals on the screen. Let's just take a moment to go back in time, back to the days when we were young, when we'd run into our house after a long day of school and then log into Star Stable. We'd run around Steve's farm looking for people to talk to, run around Fort Pinter waiting for the disco to start, waiting in the same old spot for your friend to log on so you could compete in races. I wish I could go back to those days. Everyone does. We all want the old Star Stable back, maybe for the nostalgia, or maybe just for the sense of comfort and happiness. The community was so inclusive and fun. Everyone was supportive and welcoming. It always brought a sense of comfort logging in. The graphics, they may have seemed old, outdated, trashy to us, but when we look back at it and see how much it takes us back, the colours were bright and saturated. I think it just appealed to us as kids. We could ride around, everything would be bright and cheerful. I remember raging at quests and getting my mum to complete a lot of races for me. They were the good times. No matter if you started in 2012 or 2017, these are the good times we can't get back. It's hard to comprehend, really, how much it's changed in a short amount of time. But it isn't really a short amount of time, it just went by so fast. I can remember the adrenaline of completing a hard quest or race. It made you so happy and proud. It felt like you were achieving something big, and the XP in your Victuallings felt well deserved. I can't exactly recall when it all changed. It became different. I remember rushing to ask my mum if I could use her laptop because I was, quote-unquote, too young for my own. Then when I was called down for dinner, I would say, just a minute, then spend another 20 minutes on SSO chatting to my friends. I think the main thing was being able to ride around and enjoy what you're doing, enjoy what you're seeing, enjoy the quests and not get bored. All the bright colours, clothes and tack, it was so innocent, so pure. I can remember losing my starter horse on Moorland Beach my first time playing. I had to get tons of people to help me find her. Back then, it was quite common to always have a starter horse. Not many people were old enough to afford star coins. Lots of quests also required your starter horse too. I remember the first time I got Star Rider. I was so excited. I rode up to Steve's farm, learned to jump. It was pretty big considering you couldn't jump unless you were a Star Rider back then. It was also my first time in Silverglade. I remember crying because I couldn't get past the wolves whilst unlocking Wistful. At the time, it wasn't so fun, but I wish I could go back. It was so peaceful. Remember when we all wondered what was behind the big ice wall in Valedale? Well, on the 14th of November 2014, the trailer was released. Then 5 days later, on the 19th of November 2014, The Valley of a Hidden Dinosaur was officially released. Everyone gathered to look around and try out all the new quests. On December 10th, 2014, the Fjord horses were released. You could buy them fully tacked and at level 10 for 780 star coins. We needed a certain reputation with the cultists to get this horse, but most people got it. What was really special about this horse is that it was cold tolerant. Most horses would perform slower and shake in Dino Valley because of its cold weathers, but the Fjord were the first ever horses to be tolerant to this, meaning it would be at normal speed even when in cold areas. The North Swedish horse was the second cold tolerant horse released. I'm not exactly sure when they removed this feature, but this is when Star Stable's downfall officially started. The old crusty outdated graphics was gone. The untextured horses were gone. We now had Gen 2 and 3 horses, and the new graphics was giving a sense of realism, which wasn't what us Star Stable players wanted. Star Stable worked more on new horses than events and bugs. We all slowly started to become unhappy with the game. We played it less and less. The events and quests became extremely boring as they weren't fully developed. The story quests were a lot shorter, and instead of the rep blockers, you would just get straight to the point. Some players might think this is a good thing, but it's really not. It used to take about a month to finish the reputation blockers, and it would make you feel like you deserved it. It felt more like a reward. But now the quests just feel like a chore, and the community became extremely toxic. Instead of it being a social game to have fun, it was more like competing. Who had the better horses? Who was richer? Who had the best tack? There were fights, exploiters, bullies, left, right and centre. It was no longer a peaceful community, no longer a fun game, no longer something to enjoy, no longer a game where you could just relax and enjoy your childhood. Star Stable kept going downhill even more every update. It was always new horses, to the point where they removed the Midsummer Fest, Valentine's and April Fools. They really let us down. The new horses were very realistic, but not always in a good way. The old horses moved in a blocky way and didn't look too much like a horse, but that's what we liked. The new realistic minimalistic look is too lifelike. Star Stable is meant to be a game for kids and teens to enjoy, like an escape from the real world. It was like unlocking a place where you could just make friends, compete in races and have fun. It was a place escape from real life, where there was no school and you could just freely ride a horse. It was especially good for people who didn't have horses in real life. But now it's just toxic. Most Generation 1s are removed in 2018 to 2020. They're no longer available, and it makes me sad to think about it. The Star Stable workers used to be so good at making fun updates and great events for us to enjoy. Now they don't even care about the players. It's all about money. They made these new characters without even asking what we think. The new body shapes are meant to be inclusive, but the smallest one is twice the size of A. And as I said, it's way too realistic. Everything has gone so downhill, I wish it was back to normal. Who remembers the old trailers? They were regional. Different colours would travel to different areas. Which gave us use of the ferries, as you couldn't quickly travel from Fort Pinter to Jarlaheim without them. Now they're just abandoned and unused. But now in recent times it's changed so much, nobody likes it that much. We all wish we could go back, but sadly, we can't. Sadly, this video is now over. Please comment if you would like more. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.